Welcome, everyone. I call to order the June 9th, 2026 adjourned regular meeting of the City Council at 4:04 p.m. Madam City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I need to make a speech regarding Councilmember Jackson being on Zoom. Senate Bill 707, on Thursday, June 4th, 2026, Councilmember Jackson requested to join today's City Council meeting virtually via Zoom in accordance with Senate Bill 707 under the Just Cause Clause because he is traveling on official business as a California Coastal Commissioner to this month's meeting. Senate Bill 707 requires that you disclose whether there are any other individuals 18 years of age or older present in the room at your remote location and the general nature of your relationship with such individuals. Senate Bill 707 also requires that your camera and audio be on throughout the meeting. Lastly, it requires that all votes be taken by roll call vote. Councilmember Jackson, can you please confirm?
Yes, I am alone.
Thank you. And with that, I'm going to take roll call. Councilmember Stamen is absent. Councilmember Francois?
Here.
Councilmember Jackson?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Keegan?
Here.
Mayor DeToy.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I think I see Rob walking in. Rob is here.
Here.
Thank you.
Perfect. And do we have any public comment?
We did not receive any speaker cards, and I do not see any hands raised online.
Perfect. We'll close public comment and bring it up to the interview. So first off, I appreciate everyone who put their interest in for the two seats or two options on the different commissions. I know we got sent a few questions. I know that we also have a large group interviewing. It's my intention to push through our closed session if needed, and we can do closed session at the end of our next meeting. So as long as there's no objections to that. That way we have about 2 hours to get through the interviews. And then do you have any announcements about any withdrawals?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Could I just ask, Mr. Mayor, how many minutes are we divulging for each?
I'll do the quick math on,
Oh, okay.
I know we had one withdrawal, correct?
So Matthew Kidd actually withdrew his application for tonight.
So that'd be number 7 on our list. So 13, 14 interviews. In about 110 minutes. So let's give it to about 5 minutes per interview. Again, that's about 8 minutes if you average it out, but time, names getting called, et cetera. So
And we don't necessarily have to ask a question.
not everyone has to ask a question. The questions should be the same.
Well, really?
No.
Yeah.
Because I asked Steve about that, and he didn't think that he thought we could just skip questions when we needed to, and
Sure, I know there's,
No?
I mean, it's a broadcasting meeting.
It should be the same, but each candidate. In general, it is nice to keep the same question, but each candidate is different, and so based upon their resume, if you have a question that's particular to them based on their experience, it's appropriate to ask. So in general, it would be nice to be the same questions, but you are going to have some deviations because each person's different.
so for expediency's sake, for example, I won't ask any questions unless I reference something on their resume, and then that way we're not.
As long as you're asking a question that's based off the information that's in front of you, the
Okay.
resume or any background documentation that's presented.
That should move the meeting along quicker than I think if I stick to that and others do, so, okay, thanks.
Mr. Mayor? I'm sorry, I don't mean to take up a lot of time with this. I appreciate the legal advice and the legal position of that, but I've been doing this for an awful long time, both on both sides of this, both as commissioners and as city council, and it's always been, you have to ask each one the same question. And I think that's only fair. The candidates are different, that's for sure, and perhaps it would be good to ask one question of one and not the other. But I think it's unfair to ask one person one question and then, which may give them an advantage over another person. So, just my opinion. Thank you.
Rob, I agree with you, and it wasn't until certain, that's the way it's been since I've been on council until this last year or two. So with that, I think we'll kick it off. I will start an opening question just so it is equal across. I'll ask question number 1 or a variation of it, and let them introduce themselves, and then we can kind of go around the horn from there. And Ray, I know you're online, and are you going to ask any questions from Zoom land, or?
Yes, I will be asking questions.
All right, perfect. I just want to make sure to look for you.
Thank you.
Madam City Clerk, who's doing running the door? All right, we'll have Aaron Bender. Welcome, Ms. Bender. Thank you for your interest in serving on the Public Works Commission. The city's infrastructure plays an important role in our quality day-to-day life. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the Public Works Commission.
Thank you, and thanks for having me tonight. I am a senior scientist and leader for the state. I work for the California State Water Resources Control Board in the Division of Water Rights, and for the last 20 years, I have worked at the intersection of environmental compliance, infrastructure management, and community engagement and education, and have lived in this community also for over 17 years. And with 2 boys, and appreciating the vibrancy and cultural uniqueness of Hermosa Beach, I wanted to step forward and participate at a city level and help out. I think I have a unique skill set that could be helpful here. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. I'll kick it off to Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Ms. Bender. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and the City Council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And what specific improvements would you make to strengthen the Commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
Yeah, thank you so much. Where the Public Works Commission adds value is helping the city make informed, transparent, and forward-thinking decisions that balance and maximize community benefits, as well as respect the fiscal realities at play. I think that I've had an opportunity to listen to the recent budget updates and the CIP updates, and I know that the Public Works Commission Public Works Department is committed for the next 2 years on all of the existing CIP commitments. I know that we're facing a deficit. More than ever, as Councilmember Jackson said, we need to be strategic about our investments. We need a structured decision-making matrix to prioritize decisions that are defensible and transparent. Prioritizing public safety, regulatory compliance, asset protection, community, and cost effectiveness. I think one of the things that we could be doing that could help improve is our coordination and our collaboration. I think that the Public Works Commission could benefit from meeting monthly. I think there's just a lot going on, and meeting monthly would increase opportunities for public engagement and also greater alignment with other city departments and commissions. And yes, we'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking to my left. Do you have anything, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
If you want me to come back to you, I can. All right, Councilmember Francois.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You have worked in Division of Water Rights with Cal State Water Resources Control Board and have experience with the Coastal Commission. Could you explain a little bit about how those experiences will help you on the Public Works Commission and what you think the main issues are regarding water rights in the state?
There's a few things there. Where I think my experience with the State Water Board's Division of Water Rights comes into play is I understand public process. I understand stakeholder engagement and facilitation and community outreach and the importance of engaging community early on in a process. I understand in terms of the Coastal Commission, my work with the Coastal Commission was developing a web-based sea level rise visualization tool to help cities just like this plan for future sea level rise in terms of how and where we site facilities, whether we continue to invest in resources, whether they're at risk, and then also on coastal development planning and whether the locations were appropriate and are aligned with Coastal Commission regulations. My work, my technical expertise and my work with the division also, I have a strong water quality background. I understand water treatment. I understand discharge requirements. I also have experience working in industry and understand permitting large infrastructure projects. I've written CEQA projects. I have experience working with the state, federal, and local agencies that you're going to be working with, the Hermosa Beach City will be working with, that they are currently and will continue to work with in the future. Have experience with those, working with those agencies, understanding the regulations and the timing and the sequencing of those regulations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Rob, we'll go to you.
Yes, thank you. Hello, Ms. Bender.
Hi.
My question to you is, we just went through the budget and on all levels, including the Public Works Department. And so currently today, what is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission right now?
I think capacity.
Sorry?
I think capacity. The Public Works Department does not have the capacity to do everything that it needs to do in coming years. Whether that's, it is under-resourced. It doesn't have, from what I gather, all of the staff is already committed for 2 years overseeing current CIPs. And so future projected projects aren't included in that allocation of resources. Additionally, we've got major infrastructure projects on the horizon that are either in part or not at all factored into that. And so that's not just staffing time, but it's also funding. And so I think the commission themselves needs to be efficient with the way they coordinate and collaborate with their partners. We need to develop a structured decision-making matrix that we can work through the process, come to an agreement, and at the end of it, be able to share that with the public and have it be defensible, have it be definitive, or at least have it fully explored options so when we go to the City Council, you have all of the questions and answers prepared for you so that we can keep things moving efficiently forward. I think we're going to have to be creative about problem solving and looking for solutions. And so I think today is outstanding and exciting that you have 15 candidates that have come forward wanting to engage. That's a lot of new eyes to look at things and with fresh eyes and come up with some creative and innovative solutions.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you.
Name your 3 current, past projects or future projects that you're interested in the commission if you were to serve, and tell me which one is your top priority.
Can you repeat that question for me?
Name 3 projects, whether current, past, or future, and tell me something about one in particular.
Okay. I'm going to go with Hermosa Pier. Is this what you, I think what I was asking for clarity on is this is a City of Hermosa Beach project, past,
Correct.
future, or present. Okay.
City CIPs.
Thank you.
Current, past, or future. That gives you a broad
Yes.
scope.
Understand now, thanks. Yeah. Hermosa Beach is a small town, and we're driven by tourism. And that pier is one of the central features of our community. Not to mention, it helps with the surf break. I'm not going to lie, as a surfer, that's important. But I think recognizing that we are not a town that has a huge commercial and industrial economic tax base. And so where we can continue to preserve the culture and the coastal community that we have and the tourist draws. Repairing or replacing the pier is going to be a tremendous project, a major undertaking, and it's going to require a full exploration of options. And that's something I'm actually really excited about, seeing what type of improvements we can make to the pier, whether it's a replacement or a refurbishing the existing pier, and what value that can add to the community. And then recognizing, it's going to be a big task to figure out how to pay for it, and it's going to take a while to complete. And I find those challenges exciting as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Casey.
Good afternoon.
So we're going to go around the horn. Everyone's going to ask you a question. We have about 5 minutes, so we're going to have a timer up. If you go a little bit over, we'll forgive you. So thank you for your interest in applying for the Public Works Commission. The city infrastructure plays such an important role in our day-to-day lives. And so can you please just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the commission?
Sure, and thank you for the opportunity actually to apply. While I've been in the South Bay resident for about 15 years, I recently moved to Hermosa Beach about a year ago, and I have fallen in love with it. I think it's such a unique community, and so I really want to help with infrastructure and capital projects. That's been my experience as a land use attorney. I've had all sorts of projects, and my job was always to get them built. And I can talk more about which projects I've worked on if you like. And now that I'm semi-retired, I have time to help out on the projects that I think are needed for the city. You all are much more familiar with that than I am, but I've attended a couple of your public works commissions, and I've read your capital improvement project. It's very well done in terms of your technical staff. I'm really impressed. I've been in front of a lot of different public works commissions and worked with public work directors, and impressive, but there's challenges. I don't have to tell you all that. So I really like to be able to be part of the solution.
Thank you. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you for being here, sir. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and the City Council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And what specific improvements would you make to strengthen the commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
Great question. What I like to, because I've been on different board of directors for different trade organizations, LA County Chamber of Commerce is one of them, and I think what the role that commissioners and even those kind of boards play with respect to staff is we're there to help them prioritize based on the values of whatever the community is that's at issue. And I think that's a key role, is to make sure that when staff comes back with this solution or this project, this program, is that we use the community's values, the plans that apply, whether it's your land use plan, general plan, and use that as the metrics to measure how successful the staff's recommendations will be. And I think to answer your question about after a project's approved, is to make sure that staff comes back to the commission, whether it's every 3 months, 6 months, however long time period is, and say, here's how we've been doing, and here's how we've been doing against those metrics that you commissioners helped us identify at the front end of the process.
Thank you. Councilmember Francois.
I don't have any questions. Thank you. Thanks for being here, by the way. We're trying to move these things
I
along.
understand. I understand. We're all keeping time in the back room, too, so it's okay.
Councilmember Seaman.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Casey, for being here. We just went through the budget in our city for a very long process in all departments, including Public Works. So that notwithstanding, currently, what is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Department right now?
I think it's twofold. As I understand, there's been the capital projects that have been identified and funded, so you make sure that those get implemented and meet those budgets. And two, as I understand, you identified a number of deferred and unfunded capital projects, is to start working on how are we going to get those lined up, not just to let them sit there. I know you won't, but there's so many important projects. Again, I don't have to tell you whether it's the pier, the city yard, the list goes on, but I think it's also making sure that we're in a path to next year get some of those projects moving along.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Can you name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in, and which one of those is either your favorite or a priority?
Number one is the pier, for just a couple of reasons. Obviously, it's very important, but also it's such an identifying mark for this unique community. So that'd be number one. Number two, believe it or not, the city yard. Having worked with a lot of different infrastructure projects, I know that city yard may not be sexy, but it's so necessary to get that done. So those would be my top 2. The other ones, I'm a big fan of the lighting projects at night, because I think those also help bring the community together.
Good answers.
All right, you got 25 seconds. You got anything else to add?
No, except I know, again, I'm new to the community, but I really wanted to bring both my time, which I have now more of, plus my experience with all sorts of different projects to help be part of the solution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Casey.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Dang. So we have an aspirational goal for about 5 minutes a person.
Perfect.
If you go a little bit over, we'll forgive you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Just thank you so much for your interest in applying for the Public Works Commission.
Thank you.
We're going to each ask questions, and then we'll let you answer. So the city's infrastructure plays an important role in the quality of life for our residents and community. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the commission?
Sure. Well, my name is Mike Dang. I'm a 16-year resident of Hermosa Beach. My wife and I are raising an 8th grade 14-year-old in Hermosa Beach, which is quite a challenge. We are strong supporters of HVPTO, Hearts of Hermosa, and Young at Art program. I do feel a strong sense of community in Hermosa Beach. We're a small community, and I feel very rooted in here. Even though I've only been here for 16 years, I do feel a very strong rooting in here. And I think this is an opportunity for me to contribute my skills to make informed, balanced decisions for our public works.
Perfect. Councilmember Jackson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dang. Nice to see you. Thank you for applying, sir. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and the City Council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure that taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And to follow on, what specific improvements would you make to strengthen the Commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
Thank you for the question, Councilmember Ray. So the first part of that question, I would say that the role of a commissioner for public works is really to help drive decisions in support of the full-time staff. And the idea is that, to act as kind of a go-between between the public and the staff to kind of present the point of view of the public and of the residents of Hermosa Beach. I think the second part of that is regarding the infrastructure projects. I kind of take that kind of threefold. I think the first is ensuring that we have strong fundamentals, and that includes basically maintaining our roads, our sidewalks, our utilities, and having a strong preventive maintenance program so that we can basically keep our assets, maintain our assets for a long term, extend the life of them to reduce costs. Secondly, it's really about improving safety within the community and usability of our public spaces. and that includes basically pedestrian safety, traffic, sidewalks, and where appropriate, making sure that really the infrastructure kind of supports the people and where they go, what they do within the community. And I think this role kind of serves as kind of a voice of that community, because I think a lot of people that work in Hermosa Beach don't necessarily live in Hermosa Beach, so they may not be privy to some of the I guess the nuances of a beach community. Thirdly, it's really about, I think, long-term sustainability within the community. And we live in a dense coastal community, and it's about kind of strengthening the long-term resilience of our infrastructure, whether it's our waste disposal or our stormwater or things like that, where that kind of have a long-term effect on the beaches and the coastal life.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Councilmember Francois.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. You currently serve as Senior Director of Facilities Engineering. Looks like you're heading a large budget portfolio and operations budget. Could you describe a little bit more how that can help and contribute towards the Public Works Commission?
Sure. So in my role, I do a lot of work with the infrastructure of our campus, our facilities. We are a biotech firm, and we do a lot of infrastructure with our utilities, our critical utilities, our water, our wastewater, our electrical, our gases. And so my role is kind of oversight of that. And what I do is I manage a capital portfolio of our tenant improvements. We do greenfield projects where we are building from the ground up large clean room facilities. So I work a lot with our contractors, our subs. I do a lot of comparing of quotes, a lot of competitive bidding. And I think that's important to have competitive bidding in that you kind of figure out, you have some contractors, I think, that they don't want to do a certain job and they will overcharge you for certain things. And so you want to have that kind of competitive edge on all your contractors, basically. And so part of that is me making a decision based on the contractors, not necessarily the lowest bid, but really the most appropriate bid for that type of scope of work.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Dang. Quick question. We just went through the budget in the city quite thoroughly throughout all the departments, including Public Works. And so currently, what is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission right now, today?
Right now, I think it's the safety, and that's one of the things that I press upon my staff is safety. I think for a campus that I have, it's really the idea is that when my staff leaves work, they should be in the same piece that they are when they enter work. And so from a kind of public works standpoint, it's about safety, regarding the city as a whole. You hear about these stories about, the e-bikes and things, burglaries and things like that. And I think public safety is key to having a safe and productive community.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Can you name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in? And of that, which one is your favorite or your top priority?
Continuous improvement projects? That's
Current CIPs within the city.
I'm not super familiar, admittedly, with the CIP projects in the city. I think that there is one that is associated with the community center, is my understanding. There's one for that. I think that's very important to bring the community together. The other CIP projects, I know there are some associated with the schools, which is very dear to my heart. Even though my son is going to Maricosta, I do want to contribute, to the success of the next generation of kids that are growing up in Hermosa Beach.
Thank you.
Thank you for your application, and thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Welcome, Ms. Dunbabin.
Thank you.
Thank you for your interest in serving the community
Thank you. It's been
and,
great.
wanting to serve again on the Public Works Commission. So can you just I don't have to tell you about the quality of life issues with public works projects and CIPs, but tell us a little bit about yourself and anyone watching and why you want to continue to serve on the Public Works Commission.
Oh, well, first of all, there are a couple of projects that the city yard, which I would like to see completed, and of course, I know the pier is having problems, and I just like to be part of decision-making as far as what happens with those two projects, as well as many others. And also the other thing was that I was looking for a Public Works manual so that everyone who's applying for Public Works would know exactly what the Public Works Commission does. And I tried to get together to write one several years ago, and then COVID happened, and so, no, I'd like to see that happen where the Public Works Commission has a manual as far as what their jobs are and what they do. But basically, just finishing up projects. I thoroughly enjoyed working on the Prospect and the 8th Street project, and of course, the Clark building. And it was just great just seeing them finished to completion and people being happy with them. So yes, that's my main reason for re-upping.
Perfect. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you for being here, Madam Commissioner. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and the City Council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And then along that same vein, what specific improvements would you make to strengthen the Commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
I think to me, the Commission does have a big part in the decision-making process. And one thing I did want to mention was that the May 5th meeting, where there was a meeting of Public Works and the Parks and Recs Commission to talk about the budget and discuss CIPs, and I wasn't able to be there because I had already planned a trip, unfortunately, where I would still be able to attend my Public Works meeting on the 20th, but I was gone on the 5th. And had I known ahead of time that there was going to be such a meeting, then I would have planned my trip accordingly. And then I was going to go on Zoom and attend it anyway, but then I was told that because I was not on business, I couldn't be on Zoom, and then that changed, and then I was going to have meetings in my hotel room, and so I would like to see that joint meeting. I think a lot would come out of it as far as money being spent on the budget. And any changes that one can make, you have to look at the whole budget, and a lot of times we don't know exactly how much something is going to cost. I mean, there is a cost there, but you always have to add, it seems like, at least 20% to any project in order to see it all the way through. So I think I like the Public Works Commission, and I like the way that we can talk about CIPs. And I think that if the City Council would like for us to have a deeper discussion, then we certainly could.
Thank you, ma'am.
Councilmember Francois.
Thank you for being here.
Well,
and
thank you.
replying again.
Thank you for telling
I
me.
noticed on your application, you indicated you were on the City Council when you decided to form the Public Works Commission.
Yes.
So I was just wondering, has the commission turned out to be the way you envisioned? Is it progressing in a better direction to provide us the input we need? Just your general thoughts on that.
Okay, my thoughts are on that. Whenever we set up the Public Works Commission, streets were bad, streets were being paved before the water water and sewers were redone. All of a sudden the street was paved and then the sewer broke. It wasn't investigated before the street was paved. So we wanted to set up, first of all, books on each one of the improvements, the sewer, the drains, the power, and everything that goes under the street, evaluate all of them, and if they needed to be done at a certain time or first, then they could be done first, and then the streets could be paved on top of them. So that was our main reasoning. Another thing, a lot of things needed to be repaired at that time, too. So that was more of our vision, was that there was a plan for the city and how different projects would be done. So
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm disappointed, I'm just saying that things have changed. But I still think we do need a Public Works Commission just to look at the CIPs and discuss them and, what's more important.
Okay, thank you.
Rob?
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Kathy. I assume you had no trouble finding your way to City Hall tonight?
I did not. And I want to
Okay.
thank all of y'all for being here, too.
right
I
where it's
know
always
that
been.
Y'all got the real job, so.
Yeah. Great, thank you. I'll ask you the same question I've asked everyone else. We just went through the budget in the city, as you know, in all departments, including Public Works. But currently, now, post-budget discussion, what do you think is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission today, right now?
You mean as far as what needs to be repaired?
Of all the issues that are out there, what do you think is the most important one, what's the most pressing one for Public Works?
Well, I think right now it's redoing the city yard. Is that that has been on the books for over 25 years, and it's been in bad disrepair, and we have all of these employees working over there, and I'm sure y'all have gone over there to see what's there and what their conditions they work in. And I think that would, it benefits the whole city, even though it seems to benefit just the employees and their workplace. But it still benefits the whole city, because a happy employee makes a much happier city.
No, I agree. Thank you. That's a good answer. Appreciate it.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Kathy?
Hello.
Can you name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in? And of those, which one is your favorite or your priority?
Well, some of them have been taken off. I do think the bollards on the Strand, even though I don't think that is the most important one, but to me it's a safety issue, but it has been removed. As far as others, there's playground equipment, the top 3. I guess I look at a lot of them and see the importance. And let me think a minute or two. I know that there are streets to be repaired, but I'll tell you the one that I really like. The flashing lights for the pedestrians going down to the beach. I like I don't think it's a CIP, but the ADA mats on the beach so that everyone can go down to the beach. And also I see other people using them who take their kids' surfboards and everything else. So I just see a lot of projects, and they're all good for the city. Now, if I were going to prioritize them, I wish you would have asked me that. I would have been more than glad to prioritize them, 1, 2, how many. But as far as the top 3, but the thing that I do like about the CIPs, and as far as what Joe San Clementi's doing, is that he's not allowing a whole bunch of other CIPs to come into the picture. Let's work on the ones we have, and then move on to new CIP. And I know the city needs money, and I wish I had enough money to give to the city so that they could do everything. But I do like the idea of not adding more projects until we get the ones finished or moving up there near the top.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for applying once again.
Well, thank you. And y'all have a lot of good applicants, too. Oh, that's the other thing. I think it is wonderful that our city had, even though I'm only one of 14, I think it's great that we had all these people apply. I think it's showing a real interest in the city, and I think it's great having residents who are interested. We always move forward, even though I'd like to be the one on the Public Works Commission after tonight, but I think it's great we had all this interest. So thanks to all of y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Flory.
Good afternoon, Council. Thank you for having me today. So we've got about 10 minutes, roughly 5 to 10, somewhere in there.
It's an aspirational goal of
Okay,
5.
all right.
If you go over, as other people have, we're not going to hold it against you. So
Perfect.
we'll each take a turn asking questions. We have
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson in the little box on the screen. I'll start off by just saying, the city's infrastructure. Well, first off, thank you for raising your hand to serve. The screen went blank. Are we good? There's technical difficulty, to be safe.
Oh,
So are we still live streaming? Okay, then we will continue. The city's infrastructure plays an important role in the quality of day-to-day life within our community. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the commission?
Absolutely. So 20-plus year.
Wait, hold on. Okay, we won't count this as your time.
Okay. Well, I can tell you about myself.
We have to broadcast to the world.
Perfect. Perfect.
We're good? And Ray can hear? Perfect. All right.
Okay. Nate Flory, 20-plus year resident, Hermosa Beach. I'm raising 3 kids, freshman, 7th grader, and a 4th grader. All came through Hermosa schools with my beautiful wife. Very active in the community, a part of Hermosa Beach board member. I coach Little League, I coach football, I coach basketball. So very active in the community. And as I see my kids start to transition out of these things that I'm very involved in, I want to be more involved in the community. My path here started about a month ago when we had a car that was speeding down 27th Street and hit a car so hard it smashed that car into our retaining wall of our house. We've been talking about speed humps, speed bumps in the neighborhood for a long time. And I took it upon myself to spend some time with the local 26th, 27th, and 28th Street. I'm part of the neighborhood watch there. And I sat down with them and we started talking about why this is important. This is the 3rd time it happened. People could get killed. And what I found out was when you sit down and talk with these people individually, there is much more to learn. We learned speed bumps could be a noise burden and speed humps could be the thing. So what I found in that is having these conversations, there was much to learn. And on top of it, other issues came up, whether it was the dog park, whether it was Clark Field expansion, it could be the pier, it could be wastewater. There was a lot of things that people in my neighborhood have typically not had a voice about, but as we were talking about the city, we started having these conversations, and that's what got me excited about our conversation today. Sorry.
I just got a text from Ray saying he cannot hear. Okay. You don't have to repeat it.
Yeah, all good. No, I can repeat it. Hey, I'm here for
You nailed it, right?
You guys want to talk about Clark Field? We can talk about Clark Field. So
just hold on one second,
Yeah.
and we'll try to.
no problem.
Technology is always supposed to make life better and easier, and then when it fails, it just turns into another headache. And then with California transparency laws and open meeting acts and everything else that
Understood.
our city attorney will yell at us about if we violate.
Understood.
Look at him. He's over there waiting.
Ready to pounce on us if we
Ready to
break the
spring.
rules.
Am I good?
No.
Oh.
My buddy.
Restored. Grandma.
He's been working on it for a while.
Recording in progress.
That was a time killer.
Well, Nate, your 5 minutes are up. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Great job, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
The person who dropped it actually just, no. How the 7th grader do? Baseball.
So it's actually the fourth grader.
Oh, 4th grader.
Yeah, so he's on the all-star team. And we will be going to Palos Verdes to take the district championship back for the first time in 40 years this year. So here we go. Get ready. It's going to be hanging at Clark soon enough. Yeah, one of our citizens, Ricky Romero, do you know the name? Yeah. He's coaching them. So we've got a plus coach. So, yeah. So they're doing well. What's that? He did. He did. He did. I mean, you look at El Segundo and what they've done. They've had a lot of high-level coaches involved, which is great, but they definitely had an advantage because of that.
Talking to me about it, I would have to step in my game not for 2 balls.
No, hey, you got, well, we all, yeah, step up.
My first at bat for 10 years up, and I go work on it beforehand, and then I keep the ball, and then I was like, oh, do that. And I'm like, oh wait, you gotta run.
Well, like Hermosa Little League, we had the highest number of kids ever enrolled, over 600.
Jason, are we broadcasting?
Yes.
So we're good?
We're good if we're
All right.
broadcasting.
I'm gonna kick it to, oh wait, can Ray talk? Okay, I'm gonna go to Dean.
Can you speak, Councilmember Jackson?
Check.
Oh, wait.
We can hear you. Thank you.
All right, your question now, Ray.
All right. Thank you for being here. I don't see who I'm speaking with, so.
Nate Flory.
Mr. Flory, thank you for being here, sir. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and city council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And then a follow-on, what specific improvements would you make to strengthen the commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
Yeah, I think the board is a bridge between city staff, yourself here in the council, and as well as the residents, and making sure that there's communication and transparency in what we're doing. You know, when I went through some of the capital improvement projects that are happening in the city today, I brought them up with some of my neighbors, and they had never heard of them. So being able to actually express what we're working on and walk through it, that will help us prioritize what we need to work on in the future. We have some major things coming up, whether it's the pier, water, it could be the dog park, which is big in my neighborhood. Other things are big things that will not, when we implement those, it is going to be lasting. And we have to make sure we do a good job of that on the front end of it. So it's very important for A, transparency, B, to act as a bridge between all groups involved and pull each one of those groups in. For example, Clark Field. Between Parks and this board, there was no communication, so we ended up installing a $30,000 netting at Clark Field. That's just going to go away, right? So when you involve all these people that are stakeholders in something that's right next to them, that will help improve the process greatly. And to me, you know, in the companies I've worked at, the startups, even the big companies, transparency is key, and aligning all the members is extremely important.
Perfect. Dean?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for applying and being here this evening. You mentioned a little bit about your rapid AI implementation as an account director. I was wondering if you could explain a little bit more about what that is and how that could help in your service on the Public Works Commission.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Rapid AI is a neuro AI company that deals exclusively in stroke. We can identify stroke long before somebody else does, and we can actually connect everybody in that workflow to make sure that patient gets from the ER to treatment very quickly. What I did is I worked with national IDNs, so Kaisers, Dignities, HCAs of the world. My job is to represent Rapid AI and all the programs and features that we have with their C-suite to help implement that. So basically I'm aligning everybody on their side within Kaiser, Dignity, whomever, and I'm aligning our team, and I'm making sure that we have a clear path, clear expectations on both sides, so we can go out and execute and get the job done to their expectations.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Rob?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
As you may or may not know, the city's just gone through the budget. It's many weeks and weeks of study throughout all levels, including Public Works. So currently now, having said that, currently, what do you think is the most important pressing issue for the Public Works Department or Public Works Commission?
Yeah. First off, if you're looking at the entire list, you know, I don't have visibility to everything on that list. But when you look at that list, to me, the pier is number one. If I think about future spend, capital spend, that we're going to have to commit today, that is going to be a challenge, and we need to really look at that carefully and figure out, you know, how do we do this? So pier is number one. If you were asked my neighbors in my neighborhood, it's going to be the dog park. It's going to be speed humps that I referenced earlier. It's going to be the capital improvements to the lawn bowling club, right? We have competing interests with Clark Field and Little League, and Lawn Bowling Club is asking for $130,000 to redo their roof. So off the top of my head, those are the things that really stick out to me, but the pier is number one. I mean, it is the lifeblood of this city. It's what we're known for, so we really need to pay attention to that.
All right, thank you.
Michael?
Can you name three current or future CIP projects that you're personally interested in? And which one of those is your favorite or priority?
Yeah. So wastewater is a big one. I come from a farming family in Idaho, and we actually use no-till agriculture to make sure wastewater doesn't go in our streams and pollute them. So that is a big project for me that's very important. Like I mentioned, the pier is extremely important as well. And anything involving safety, right? I have 3 kids. I've got a 4th grader who rides through crosswalks on his bike. And anything that we can do to make sure that we are focused on that is a definite priority.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Nate, thank you for applying for this position. We appreciate you being flexible with the technical difficulties, and we'll take the votes later this meeting. So
Great. Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Nate.
it.
Is it Canny? Welcome, Ms. Canny.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon.
Thank you for your interest in serving on the Public Works Commission. We'll each take turns kind of asking some questions.
Perfect.
We have an aspirational goal of no technical difficulties and about five minutes or so per person. So first off, thank you so much for applying for the commission. The infrastructure plays such an important role in our quality of day-to-day life within our community. So can you please tell us about yourself and why you want to serve?
Okay, my name is Lysandra Caney. I am 34 years old, and I've been a neighbor of Hermosa Beach for already 10 years. And I want to play a more active role in this community, and that's why I want to participate in the commission.
Perfect. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you for your willingness to serve the community. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and the City Council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And what specific improvements would you make to strengthen the Commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
I think that the principal thing that I will recommend is to take data-driven decisions. And as part of the commission, I will encourage the team to do that data analysis to take the decision, and starting with remembering what is the goal that we're looking into. First of all, like what is the thing that we're trying to solve, or what is the object that we're trying to analyze and to address. Based on that, there are a lot of tools that we can use to take a decision. There's different, like for example, the SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, threats, decision trees, which can let us to take the correct decision based on the specific situation or a scenario that we are addressing.
Great. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Francois.
Thank you very much for applying. I don't have any questions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Rob.
Thank you for being here tonight. As you may or may not know, we just went through the budget in this city. We spent quite a bit of time on that, and throughout all divisions, including Public Works. But currently, post-budget discussion, currently, what do you think is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission right now?
I don't know exactly what it's being talked within the same commission, but as a neighbor of Hermosa Beach, what I get to see is that some of the major issues that I get to see focus on the infrastructure are the sidewalks. Some of the sidewalks are limited on access, mainly because of vegetation growing from homes or some cars limiting the access for that. And while some of us are capable to walk around and see, some of us are also not capable and have certain limitants. So that makes then the city less accessible for some of the residents.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Mayor Pro Tem.
Can you name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in? And of those 3, which one is your favorite or your highest priority?
I'm going to be honest, I don't know the CIP projects. I apologize.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for applying for the Public Works Commission. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, Ms. Kim. As you approach, I'll just say thank you for applying, the one on your right, and being interested in serving the community.
Thank you.
All of us are going to ask a question, and then you'll have about 5 minutes aspirationally to respond, and no technical difficulties, anything like that. So if you go over, no big deal. So again, thank you for applying. The city's infrastructure plays an important role in our quality of life and day to day. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve on the commission.
Okay. So I'm Jean. I have been a Hermosa Beach resident since 2019. I love this town. I've been visiting this town for another 10 years at least prior to that. My son goes to school, I think, with your son, your kids. I've seen you at school. And so we just love this little town. We love this area. I currently work at AWS, Amazon Web Services, their cloud computing division. I work with public sector and local governments, state and local governments in Southern California and other states, helping them take their applications from on-prem to the cloud. And what that involves is a lot of strategic advisory, a lot of planning, a lot of road mapping. In my previous life as a consultant, I spent more than half of my career in consulting. I also worked with clients and executives to help with their strategic plans, define roadmaps, look at budgets, create an operational plan, keep to that operational plan. So I think my experience kind of lines up well with looking at capital budgets, looking at projects, vetting out and estimating what it would take, coming up with prioritization frameworks to help make decisions. And in my role today and in all my roles before, I have been really flexible in the needs of what the role requires in order to provide the best for my clients and customers. So if that means kind of rolling up sleeves to get very deep in the weeds in terms of requirements, to being more strategic and helping define a process with which to intake requests, manage change to the existing roadmap, create roadmaps, happy to do so.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Jackson.
Good afternoon, and thank you, ma'am, for throwing your name in the hat. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and the City Council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And then as a counter, as an addition, what specific improvements would you make to strengthen the Commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
So what role would I provide as part of the process, and what improvements? Is that what it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think as a 5-person committee, I think there's a lot that the team can offer in terms of having an impartial view as to the projects in the pipeline. And from my background, like I mentioned, I've created a lot of frameworks with which to make decisions at an executive level and both at an operational team level. So I think that could mean evaluating the process, looking at which, working backwards from a timeline and looking at which the decision points need to be made and the different factors that come into that. I can help improve that process. I can help dive deep on the initiative itself to figure out, the health of that project. My background in project management as well. I do that all day, every day. So kind of looking at proposals, looking at budgets, looking at scope. If that level of detail is needed and help is needed, I'm happy to lift in to that and work with the committee to divide and conquer if necessary.
Great. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Dean?
Hi, thank you very much for applying, and I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Trying to move along as quickly as we can here.
I bet. Believe it.
Mr. Seaman.
Thank you. And I do have a question for you.
Sure.
We just went through the budget in the city. We spent a lot of time on it throughout all the levels, including Public Works.
I took a look at it.
Yeah. But besides the budget, currently, now this is post-budget, currently, what do you think is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission today, right now?
So I think safety is definitely an issue. That can come out in building safety, it can come out in road safety, it can come out in other types of safety issues, much like what we saw on the news not that long ago. So I think putting together processes that would help make decisions quicker, make projects go faster, understand the lag in terms of where there might be gaps in that way. There could be initiatives on the list. I saw many projects on there that maybe would float higher depending on public need. There are a lot of ideas on there, and there are a lot of them that have budgets tied to them. So how I've made those decisions in the past is creating buckets with which to decide are certain areas. Public safety might be one of them, you know, I don't know, road improvement might be another. There might be overlapping themes to them, but at least deciding bucket amounts to spend in each of the categories and then ranking based on both public need, the council's opinion in terms of what is the most important, what provides the most ROI and value back to the community, I think would be a way to do it. But safety, I would say, is high on the list.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, good evening. Can you name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in? And also, of those 3, which one would be your top priority or your favorite?
I don't know that I can name 3, but I definitely did look through some of the ones that were in there. There was, I think, some Valley Park improvements. I have a son, so I looked at all of the ones related to.
It can be a current one we're working on. You've seen, I mean, tennis courts got improved.
Yeah, that was great. So there were some park improvements. There were some sewer improvements. Definitely, there's always work that needs to be done there. I know from my own aging pipes, things always need to be improved there. Park. The tsunami. The tsunami warning I thought was interesting as well. Okay. Very, very possible in today's climate.
Very good.
Things changing.
Well, thank you.
I will say that I would love the opportunity to read through all of the capital projects and then provide another answer as well.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your interest in applying for the Public Works Commission. We'll make a
Thank you so
decision
much.
at the meeting later this evening.
If there's any more questions, feel free to just send me a note.
Perfect.
Okay, take care. Have
Thank
a
you,
good
Ms.
day.
Kim. Mr. Navarrete, is that correct? Is that correct?
Huh?
Navarrete? Navarrete?
Yeah, in a way.
How do you say it?
Navarrete.
Navarrete?
Yeah.
Navarrete? All right. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for applying for the Public Works Commission. One of our colleagues is online virtually up in the square, but we're all going to ask a question. And so I'll kick it off with just saying the city's infrastructure plays an important role for the quality of day-to-day life within our community. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the Public Works Commission.
First of all, thank you for having me. Becky Navarrete, I was born and raised in Hermosa Beach. Recently moved back, and I plan to be here for the rest of my life. And if this position doesn't work out, I'd still love to be involved in the city in whatever way I can. I'm applying for this position because I believe that I can offer represent the views of a younger side of Hermosa that isn't always represented in these halls and these commissions. I feel like the commission really needs to have kind of breadth of views and experiences if we're really going to get to what all of Hermosa wants, especially going into the future with a lot of big projects coming up.
Perfect. Councilmember Jackson.
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for tossing your name in the hat. Nice to see you. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and the City Council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure tax dollars are spent effectively? And are there any specific improvements that you'd like to see to strengthen the Commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
Again, I think the Commission being able to really give the council a variety of different views and opinions from different parts of Hermosa Beach, different demographics in Hermosa Beach, will allow us to recommend projects in directions that are kind of where the city actually wants to go, where the community really wants to go, rather than just the ideas and perspectives of a smaller component. And I believe the commission, some potential change to the commission that could be helpful in doing this is maybe moving some of the more mundane kind of day-to-day operations of the commission to maybe a staff level, things like removing trees in public right-of-ways, things like that. I feel like the commission could operate at a little bit of a higher level where they're able to give more perspective on long-term planning rather than spending a lot of time and energy on smaller day-to-day issues that could be handled by staff.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Dean?
Thank you. Thank you for applying for this position. I noticed on your application you indicated that you didn't have enough space to fit all your community participation on the application. I was wondering if you could expand a little bit more on what you were not able to provide on that application.
That was the 3 questions had a 100-character limit, so I included them all as a cover page instead. Just explaining kind of my background, how I came into, this is my city program in Hermosa Beach when I was a lot younger, run by, I think it was city manager Tom Backley at the time, that really inspired me to get involved in civic politics, which is why I went to university to study political science and wanted to bring that back to my hometown, Hermosa Beach and Los Angeles. In terms of community service, I do a lot of work with the Resin Art Gallery run by Indivisible Arts on Cypress Street.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Beckett, for being here. Appreciate it. We just went through the budget in this city. Spent many months working on it through all levels, including Public Works. But having said that, this post-budget, currently, what is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission right now? To you.
I understand the difficult decisions that are going to have to be made regarding the pier going into the next few years. Is going to be at the top of everyone's mind as we figure out whether or not we're going to repair it, replace it, figure out something smaller or different or something completely new. So I think, although that's a little bit of the low-hanging fruit, I think that's probably going to be the most important of the more aspirational projects going to the next few years. That being said, of course, we need to keep up with maintenance. We can't take one step forward and 2 steps back and let our roads and sewers fall into disrepair.
So the pier.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Mayor Pro Tem?
Hello. Can you name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in? And of those, which one is your favorite or your top priority?
The Greenwich undergrounding project I thought was really interesting. I really liked how the city was able to figure out a way to give a neighborhood kind of something that wasn't really necessary for them, but something they wanted to do, and find a way to also have that not reflect on the bill of the rest of the community, and find a way for them to fund that themselves. So I thought that was really interesting and a cool way to move forward with projects that are a little more neighborhood niche. Besides that, I mentioned the pier. I still think that's the largest, most important one, but that's a little bit of I'm sure that's a common answer. Something that's interesting to me and a little bit more of a pet project is the pier and Pier Plaza lighting propositions. I spent a lot of my time down at pier, most whether it's after work or on the weekends. And I think being able to use lighting to add ambiance to it and make it somewhat more attractive, where tourists are going to want to go to, where people in the community are going to want to go for dinner, things like that, as well as the safety aspect. We're a very, very social city, and there are people on the streets around Pier Plaza at all hours of the night. And if we can, save a couple lives, make sure people are able to make their way home safely by having more lights up, which is a minimal cost compared to more policing, then I really think we should do it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for applying, and we'll tally the votes later this evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, Rebecca Noble is withdrawing her application for the Public Works seat, but still wants to be considered for the Civil Service Board.
So wants to swap to the Civil Service Board.
She had initially applied for both from the beginning.
Oh, so she's withdrawing from the Public Works. She's still on the
Keeping
Civil.
Civil Service, yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Here.
Will take us to Mr. Patton.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Doing well.
Thank you.
Microphone up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. There's people watching all over the world, I'm sure. So
Oh.
thank you for your interest in serving the community and looking to serve on the Public Works Commission. Each of us up here will ask you a question. We do have one colleague virtual. So I'll start off with saying the city's infrastructure plays an important role in the quality of day-to-day life within our community. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve on the commission?
Well, I'm an Air Force veteran and aerospace quality and compliance professional. I've dealt with systems, improving systems, creating efficiency, a lot of defense projects where people's lives are on the line. I make informed decisions from reviewing the data and proceeding accordingly, and I would bring that same compliance mindset to this position or to this committee.
Perfect. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role do you think the Public Works Commission should play in helping staff and City Council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And then what specific improvements, if any, would you make to strengthen the Commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
Well, first of all, I believe the committee should be a bridge between the community, the staff, and the city council. I believe it would be beneficial to review all projects as a kind of a third party and to be able to address that to the community as for what improvements are necessary, feasible, what the people want. I mean, what the budget actually can give, what we can get the most bang for the buck out of. And as far as improvements, I would continue improving the drainage system, for example. I mean, that's a great improvement. Where I lived, it flooded a lot, and I see a big progress in that. And like the street light or the crosswalk program, I've seen people get smashed, and you know, it's very, very good, and has a lot of value to what has been done. I've seen so far, but it can continue progressing. You know, preventive maintenance is a big thing, and yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Patton.
Thank you very much for applying this evening, and thank you for your service. And I don't have any questions right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patton, for being here. Appreciate it. As you know, we just went through the budget in our city. We spent quite a few weeks, months actually, and all levels, all departments, including Public Works. But having said that, now, with post-budget currently, what do you think is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission now, today?
To me, the most pressing issue would be, as from a maintenance standpoint, preventive maintenance. I mean, you don't want to wait for things to just back up and spill before you have to clean up, and when you could prevent catastrophe in the future, from street signage to pedestrian safety, all of that, you know, it has to be preventive. You know, if you see things that are wrong, you know, try to make changes as feasible within the budget that you can. Communication is a very important part to the community. I would improve that, maybe more flyers or whatever means you need to get out what's going on, because honestly, the only way that I really knew what was going on was like next door and things of that nature. Otherwise, I'm just like in the out here, besides seeing with my own eyes. And you know, I really like Hermosa. I've been living in several different places in this country, of course, and this is like a family type environment where I choose to raise my children, and I just want it to be safe and better. I don't want to go backwards. I want to maintain and move forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then Mayor Pro Tem.
Could you name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in? And of those, which one is your favorite or a priority?
I don't know if I can name 3 of them.
Well, it's current ones also. Have you seen
Current one.
anything under construction around here?
Well, I saw the basketball court, and that was a very nice project that I would have liked to have been a part of. The lawn bowling, the center right there, rehab that. That's a great thing. Also, more on that habitat for the butterflies. I like that. That's a great thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your service to the country and you know, again, wanting to serve the community where you live. So we appreciate the time, and we'll vote on it later tonight.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Step.
Yes, sir.
All right. We do have people view online, so if you could just, you know, speak into the microphone. Thank you very much for
Sure thing.
putting your application in, wanting to serve Hermosa Beach. We're each going to ask one question. You have about 5 minutes total, and if you go over, it's okay for that too. So I'll kick it off by just saying the city's infrastructure plays an important role in the quality of day-to-day life in our community. Can you just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve on the Public Works Commission?
Before I answer your question,
Was that?
before I answer your question, you want to hear about me?
That is a question. My question is just a little intro
Oh.
and why you want to serve.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to serve. I want to serve because it wasn't on my radar, but I actually saw the notice in the paper, or not even the paper. I think I got it through the city email. So I go, wow, that's an interesting opening. I served in this role previously. I was a commissioner from 2012 to 14. So I saw it, and I'm like, well, I've been retired for 2 years now, and I would like to get back serving my community. So that's what sparked me. It's not on my radar, but here I am today. So,
Can you raise your
pleasure to
mic
be
and
here.
speak up a little bit? I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, better?
Better.
I can do this. There we go.
Perfect.
We were out in the hallway. You couldn't hear the person on the podium at all. You could hear you guys really well, but on the TV out there, you couldn't hear anybody.
They're going to hear you now talking.
All right, no problem, sir.
Perfect. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you for replying, sir. Given this city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and city council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And are there any specific improvements that you'd like to make to strengthen the commission's contribution to the decision-making process?
I guess, so the commission's, job is to evaluate what staff and the community bring forth and what's going on in a particular capital improvement project. I think the commission needs to vet out what staff is bringing personally, or what staff is bringing to the commission, and the commission is a stopgap before the recommendations get to city council. And so I think we need to be diligent on what they are presenting, what staff presents to the commission, as well as taking input from the community. And I think the commission needs to be very diligent on what they recommend. And ultimately it goes to the council for their recommendation. We provide a recommendation, it goes to the council for their approval. What can I think personally, can the commission do better? I think when I was on the commission, there was always an unspoken tone of, well, does the commission support what the city staff says, or does the commission make recommendations to the council, and with an unspoken, kind of silent debate between that. So I think if the commission could focus on getting the right information, vetting what staff presents, and getting the right information to the council, and letting that flow perfectly through would be what I think the commission could do better.
Excellent. Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Mr. Strapp, and thanks for applying this evening.
No problem.
I've noticed on your resume, you've had a long career in telecommunications, but you've got from 24 through December 26, you're on sabbatical. So does that mean that you're available now to serve, but what's your next step after December of 26?
Yes, so I retired in January of 2024.
Oh.
And I've been on a professional sabbatical. I'm probably looking to get back to work at some point, but I've been unemployed for 2 years now, so here I am to serve.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stapp. Thank you, Mr. Stapp. Appreciate your being here. We just went through the budget in our city. We spent many months working on it. We went through all levels of our government, including Public Works. And having said that, now post-budget, with that behind us, currently, what do you think is the most important, most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission today?
What I personally think the most pressing issue of Public Works Commission is, and I probably should have done a better job knowing what the highest priority CIP projects for the city are, but I mean, streets and sewers is always one, but that's never going to go away, so I don't know if that's my personal one. Pedestrian safety, when I can't say what is lacking in pedestrian safety, other than you got me in a conundrum here. What do I think is the best project for the commission to look at? Well, I know you just finished. Well, there's an elephant that's always been out there. The pier eventually is going to need some major replacements, and that's not cheap, or major replacements, remodeling, whatever, refurbishing, whatever you want to call it. But that's top priority, but I don't know if that's ever going to be funded. But I think at some point, somewhere as a city, there's a body of government, we're going to have to figure that out. I think you just redid Clark Building. That's, at least I voted there. It's back in open. And parks, I think, are good, except Clark Field needs work, I believe. But I think that's underway. I don't think that's something that's on the planning. There's a Public Works Commission's agenda at the moment. I haven't looked that up.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to ramble on too much about that. I'm sure you have other questions.
Good evening. I was wondering if you could name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in within the city, and which one is your favorite or a priority? CIPs meaning capital improvement projects.
Yeah, I understand. Like I said, there's the last question, and I right before I walked into this room, I was looking it up out there, but I got like 5 capital improvement projects. The one that stuck out at me as most interesting was probably pedestrian safety and mobility access to Pacific Coast Highway.
That's good. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thank you again for applying again, and thank you for your previous service on the commission, and we'll take votes later in the evening.
Okay, thank you.
Moving along here.
Mr., is it Toomey?
Toomey.
Perfect. Well, thank you for being here this evening. Thanks for applying for the Public Works Commission.
Thanks for having me.
Each of us are going to ask a question, and we have an aspirational goal of 5 minutes, but if you go a little bit over, we won't, knock
Don't
points
hold it
off.
against me.
So I'll kick it off by just saying the city's infrastructure plays an important role in the quality of day-to-day life in our community. We just please, opening question, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve on the commission.
Absolutely. So again, my name is David Toomey. I've been a full-time Hermosa Beach resident for about 3 weeks. For the last 5 years, I've had a property here and spent half the time in Hermosa and half the time in Dallas, Texas. So I'm a salmon swimming upstream. I moved here full-time and left Texas. And I came here for a very unique space, environment, a community, and I wanted to make this my permanent home. And it's unique. And sometimes you live so close to something, you don't realize how good you have it, and I want to make it better. So I'm retired. I got a lot of energy if you haven't figured that out, and I can help make this better. And that's what I want to do from living in various places around the country and bringing that experience, energy, passion to help contribute to the city of Hermosa Beach, my new home.
Well, thank you. I'll say welcome.
Thank you.
And I'll kick it over to our colleague who is virtual, Councilmember Jackson.
Nice to see you, sir, and certainly a wise choice relocating to Hermosa Beach. So,
yes.
Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role do you see Public Works Commission playing in helping the staff and city council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And then are there any specific improvements that you think you'd like to see happen to strengthen the commission's contribution to the entire decision-making process?
Love it. Yeah, thank you. First off, you've got the priorities defined, right? You need to get fiscal responsibility, community revitalization. You've got to make sure that you have the infrastructure in place, sewers, et cetera. Those are given. The Public Works, in my estimation, is a key component to help drive the council members' execution to make sure the CIP is in place, align with those key priorities, and make sure it's prioritized. I ran large corporations for 25 years. I did entrepreneurial work for 10 years. I know the trade-offs of what to say no to and ask a lot of good thought-provoking questions to read, do the homework, and make sure everybody is aligned to the council's direction and objectives. From an improvement perspective, I've been a property owner here for 5 years. I didn't know about the C-Rise level plan. I didn't know about the $35 million budget for CIP, right? And so you're doing a lot of good work, but to make sure the taxpayers feel you're spending the money wisely, ask me. There's got to be a better way to communicate and find input from the communities so they're aligned in moving forward. Again, things are taken for granted and you're doing a lot of great work, but not everybody knows that. And you're striving to communicate with your emails and meetings, et cetera. I found in the business world, people don't click. They don't go to that next level of information. So how do you learn from social to really communicate effectively and articulate what you're doing and enlist that feedback in a different, innovative way?
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you. Dean?
Thank you very much for applying, and I don't have any questions, just trying to move this process on, but thank you very much.
Okay.
Very well qualified.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rob?
Thank you, sir, for being here. Pardon me. Thank you for being here. We just went through the budget in our city. We spent many weeks going through it on all levels, including Public Works. Now, having said that, post-budget, currently, what, in your opinion, is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission?
Yeah, it gets back to if you're going to have a vital community, the pier is right there. That's the linchpin to bring the community together. That brings the tourists together. That's got to be a determination about build, fix, repair, how you're going to do that, because that's the bellwether. North of the pier, south of the pier, and with that, how do you make sure safety is paramount to the citizens in the community? What happened with the boxing matches and the fights and the brawls that happen, that scares the heck out of everybody. And so you've got to emphasize the strategic direction about what's going on with the pier, and then how do you make sure citizens feel it's safe to be down there to have a vital community?
Okay, thank you.
On that line of CIPs, can you name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in personally, and which one of those is your favorite or a priority?
I'm a pickleball guy, so I need those done quickly, please. So I don't want to keep driving to El Segundo or Westchester, and so that's important. My take is the streets are going to be really important. Parking is really important. The peer initiative is really important. There's a lot of great, important priorities. I just don't know how it aligns specifically with the priorities that you've got as a city council. And I mean, there's a lot of CIP. It's $35 million to spend. And how does that really focus into the most important initiatives and priorities?
Thank you.
Sure.
Well, as I said, welcome, full-time welcome to Hermosa Beach, Mr. Tomey. Thank you for jumping right in and wanting to get involved in the community. And we'll take all the votes at the later part of the meeting.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last candidate for Public Works. Welcome. Is it Trinan? Yes, Trinan. Welcome, Ms. Trinan. To your right. And then if you can adjust the microphone, because we do have people watching from home and on Zoom. So welcome. Thank you very much for applying to serve the community. Each of us is going to ask a question, and you have about 5 minutes to answer it. Okay. So I'll just start off with a little intro that says, the infrastructure is so important in our day-to-day life in our community. We just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve.
Yeah. Well, I had a very long career in commercial real estate investment. I'm retired. I've been retired about 4 years. So most of the time I was working for large institutional companies, the real estate investment arm of Prudential, Northwestern Mutual Life, and Mass Mutual, which is Cornerstone Real Estate Advisors, and then more recently in a more entrepreneurial series of organizations. What interested me about this position, first of all, I kind of miss working. Anyone will tell you I'm a little bit of a real estate nerd. Like most of us don't walk around the way normal people do. We see alligatoring parking lots, and this needs to be painted, and these windows are compromised, that kind of thing. And I realized recently, I was reading the Beach Reporter, and I realized I've volunteered so many places, but I haven't volunteered here, certainly not since my son got out of school. And this position interested me because it seemed like a good marriage of being able to volunteer and to specifically incorporate my background, which was mostly focused on investments with specific horizons, specific assumptions when we bought something or developed something as to how much capital would be deployed over the holding period, and trying to make that happen.
Perfect. Thank you. Councilmember Jackson. We cannot hear you, Ray. Still can't. I'll let staff troubleshoot, and we'll go to Dean real quick. Dean.
Hi. Thank you very much for applying.
Sure.
Got a long history of a good career here, and
Yeah.
I'm going to move things along and not ask a question. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Rob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hi, welcome for being here.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. We have gone through the budget in the last several months. The whole city has been through quite a process to determine what to do with the budget. And having said that, which includes, of course, the Public Works Department, having said that, then, now currently, post-budget, in your opinion, what do you think is the most pressing issue for the Public Works Commission?
I have a couple thoughts on that. So, first of all, I have been through the various reports. I think I noticed one thing interesting. There was a report that related to the estimated time required from the staff to work on all the projects, and there were many time periods where their estimate of time required exceeded the amount of time available essentially. So what does one do to help make everything as efficient as possible? Secondly, going through all the various reports, it was funny because the CIP report that's in Excel kind of gave me a little bit of deja vu. I thought, I remember doing this. It seems that that report is a little cumbersome, and it's hard to look at that and sort of evaluate what the priorities are and how projects are going in relation to how they were budgeted or what was intended to occur. I can see there's a separate report that kind of shows how much has been spent by project, but nothing says this is over, this is under, that kind of thing in an efficient way. I think I love a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, as much as probably anyone in this room.
Likely.
But the report, I'm wondering, I don't have a lot of exposure, but I think to the extent that reports get cumbersome like that, then you're having somebody move things around and update everything and change lines, and there's always going to be things, projects closing out, and everything's going to move around. You're spending a lot of time having somebody work on that. And I was just wondering if it had been investigated as to whether or not there's some sort of off-the-shelf program that you could be inputting things that would basically help with respect to prioritizing, reporting, that kind of thing, so that your focus can be on either what the largest projects are or what perhaps isn't running in accordance with what the council intended.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll go back to Ray, try to get you on audio if possible.
You have me?
There you go.
All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for applying.
Sure.
Given the city's growing infrastructure needs and limited financial resources, what role should the Public Works Commission play in helping staff and the city council prioritize projects, evaluate trade-offs, and ensure taxpayer dollars are spent effectively? And are there any specific improvements that you'd like to see the commission make that can better contribute to the decision-making process?
Well, perhaps I addressed that a little bit. I was curious if there was a way, first of all, to look at some sort of software or something that could get the department off of Excel spreadsheets and be a little more efficient, and perhaps keep a record of projects that have already been completed in the past, how that went, sort of be mindful of what was done in the past to inform the future. I also am not super familiar with how the process is, but I'm wondering if there's any efficiencies or overlap in the process itself, and if that can be analyzed in order to streamline processes for the staff so they can be focused where they should be focused, right? Where you're getting what you really need is their expertise being spent where it needs to be spent.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I was wondering if you could help name 3 current or future CIP projects that you're interested in, and specifically, and which one is your favorite or would be a priority for you?
Well, I think it seems to me that the biggest priority of what's on the list is the pier project, because that's a big dollar amount, and it seems like perhaps there's a fair amount of uncertainty with respect to what's going to be required. And it seems to me that that project also has the most to do with the city's identity. We're all about the pier, right? Our focus is Pier Avenue. It's where we need our businesses to be successful. It's where we hold all of the parties. And I think that seems the most interesting to me. I noticed there's a couple undergrounding projects going on, which is always, I mean, I would love that to happen in my neighborhood too. I would be interested to jump in that more to see, you know, again, how can the past inform the present kind of thing. And let's see what else. I think kind of the Hermosa Beach signage issue. I think it's really interesting that there was a big donation that was to specifically benefit the signage process. I think it's interesting in terms of, again, marketing the city, changing our identity. I always tell people we're just like this tiny little city, but I think we like to play above our weight, and I think that would be an interesting project to help in that regard.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Trinan, for stepping up and applying for the commission. We'll take all the voting later in the meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Now we'll pivot to the Civil Service Board. We have one applicant. We already interviewed her, didn't we? We already interviewed her. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Welcome, Ms. Noble.
Thank you.
If you want to approach the other microphone.
All right.
Thank you for applying for a very important role in the Civil Service Board.
The only one.
It's good odds, good odds.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm just going to, you have about 5 minutes, and if you don't take it all, that's fine. If you go a little bit over, that's fine as well. So we're each going to take questions if we feel fit, and I'll just start off with a little intro. Thank you for applying for such an important position. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve on the commission?
I have been working for the past 20 years in a K through 12 school, and I've had a lot of experience running small groups and helping people decide other things they're going to do with their lives than the traditional course of action. And at this point, I've retired, and I'd like to get more involved with the city of Hermosa.
Perfect. Councilmember Jackson.
Perfect, Ms. Noble. Thank you so much for applying.
No questions?
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, Dean.
Once again, thank you very much for applying. I don't have any questions.
You're most welcome.
Moving along.
Rob?
Thank you so much for being here. Do you want to just tell me what you think you would accomplish on this board?
Well, I'm not altogether sure I understand the full responsibilities of all the members of the board, other than to oversee the job descriptions and the fulfillment of obligations to the city via contracts. So to the extent that I've hired and let go many people over the years and written and rewritten job descriptions, I think that I could bring that level of history and authority to the position.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tim?
Well, that's great, and so hopefully you'll step in and learn a little bit more and get used to the position. 'Cause
I think that,
I think
yeah.
you have a good chance of getting on it.
Is Hermosa written on your shirt? Final question.
You know, this is really sad. I was looking at it today. It's no, and I actually think Santa Monica and Manhattan Beach are on here.
Well, we won't
So-
hold that against you.
No, we'll write a letter to the people who made it.
We got a Sharpie. We can work on that.
Okay, I think this is my way to raise money for the city of Hermosa. We'll make some of these.
Perfect.
I have some other fundraising ideas.
Thank you for
Well,
coming.
thank you again for
my
applying
pleasure.
for this position.
All right, thanks so much.
And then we'll do all the votes later tonight.
All right, take care.
Thank
Have
you.
a good evening.
So we will adjourn the regular meeting at 5:52 p.m. Question for the city attorney before we take a 15-minute break. Do we have to open up closed session before and continue it till after the meeting?
You can do it either way. If we're going to do it after, we can do that. But
Did anyone put a public comment card in for a closed session?
No, we did not receive. It was for the regular meeting, the open session meeting.
you can just announce on the record that we're not going to hold the closed session after the public.
And since it was noticed at 5 p.m., it's going to be
Right.
later, and that's fine. Okay. So we will have the closed session immediately following the open session and take public comment for the items listed on the agenda then. And we will start the open session meeting at 6:10. You guys good with that? 6:20? 6:15?
Oh, so we're going to have a quick closed session? huh?
No, we're going to do closed session afterwards. I'm just taking
Oh, we're doing closed session after.
We're just going to take a little
open.
break
Gotcha.
and then.
Okay, I'm with you.
6:10.
There we are.
Beautiful.
Hey, I have a little small melody for you.